I don't want to encourage any. You know what? I'll tell it. Here is a secret that I've never said before.
Before that, I want to say that
Sure.
was not serious.
No, of course
I know
not.
people who work in law enforcement. In fact, my mom works in law enforcement.
delightful.
Ryan's antagonizing law enforcement.
So I have
Our
a
boys in blue.
respect for what they do, and I
Yes.
also realize the general situation. Haha, I get it. Okay, boom. Huh, damn.
Boom. Yeah, I will say what my biggest regret is, and I've never said this publicly. Because
exclusive.
well, because it's weed related. It's not
Okay.
the most fun thing, but it's a regret.
It's Dan's big secret.
Yeah, I deeply regret all the times I drove while stoned, because I absolutely was impaired and I could have hurt somebody, including myself. And I feel, even though no one got hurt, fortunately, and I drive like a fucking grandma, and if I hit anyone, it would have been at 15 miles an hour and they would have bounced off my car just fine. I regret having put anyone else in that situation and in danger, and that is something I have to live with.
That is very noble. Or
I
not
guess.
noble. It's very like
a lot of
honorable to admit that.
Yeah.
Because there's that whole thing, right? Like the stereotype of drinking and driving versus smoking and driving.
Right.
Truth is, they're both shitty.
Yeah,
You know,
You're impaired.
You're impaired, and of course, smoking and driving is probably better because I would say there are cases where smoking and driving would make you overly cautious rather than drinking and driving where I feel like
Oh yeah, that's awful. You're
Yeah,
just you're,
that-
you're
the big
just
joke,
super
right? It's like,
impaired.
oh, we gotta get home, go fast.
Yeah,
The cops are gonna get us.
drinking
Now
and-
the cops going. The car's going like 5 miles. an
yeah,
hour.
totally. I feel like drinking and driving, no one ever
Gets hurt.
No one ever
keep
is.
saying this?
No one ever is more cautious because they are drunk. But I don't know that for sure. But then again, when I was younger, Uber was never a thing, and now it would be much easier and much better because you can just get fucked up and then
Thank
call
God for
someone and
Uber.
they'll drive you. Yeah,
Thank God for Uber.
I think that's wonderful.
And on that, salute to Uber.
You know what? I bet.
I'm a Lyft man.
I bet like injuries and deaths as a result of driving impaired, at least in big cities where Uber is, I bet those have gone way down.
oh yeah.
Oh, definitely, yeah. With the introduction of Uber, because it's like, oh, you don't have to worry about a DD anymore. You can just go out and get fucked up.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
The biggest killer of man. Cars.
really. That's the real enemy. We gotta destroy all cars.
Today we'll be hunting the most dangerous game, man.
Actually, that is the biggest killer of man is man. So start killing, guys.
Oh yeah.
Um.
Animals have their predators, men have their wars.
Oh,
Yeah,
Damn,
that
that's
was
deep.
that was on some science fiction thing that I can't remember.
That's very deep.
Yeah, I was like so deep.
Well, Dan, thank you again for coming on.
Hey, my
Check
pleasure.
out his stuff. It'll be in the description.
Yeah,
And
you can look up Ninja Sex Party's YouTube page at buttsex.info.
That's
Can
the
you?
domain.
That's actually true. That's one of the
actually the
domains we
domain.
purchased.
That
yeah,
is.
pretty
wow.
proud of that. That was
Was that Brian's idea?
absolutely.
That,
was
sounds
Brian's
like a
idea.
Brian idea.
To the core.
That sounds fantastic, though. But thank you. We love you, Dan.
I love you.
Oh,
I love you.
Samesies.
Okay.
all right.
There we go.
And we love you, fans. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for
See you
tuning
next
in.
week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
it, baby. What is this, 113?
Damn, 113?
113?
Dude, you got me on the palindrome episode.
Yeah, it is 113. Palindrome. I know what that is.
Yeah. Palindrome.
Oh, palindrome.
113 is not a palindrome.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't a palindrome a number that's the same backwards?
Yeah.
113 isn't backwards.
Oh, my
it's-
bad. I
it's
thought 131.
311.
In my mind, it was 131.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, now you
my
just
bad.
disappointed the audience. They're like, oh.
Yeah,
It's
one.
not a
It's
palindrome.
okay, I do that shit all
We can
the
have you
time.
on for the palindrome 131 episode.
That'd
It'll
cool.
it'll be a good bit, but we will eventually get
sometime in 2019. And the thing is, we just did our palindrome episode 2 episodes ago with 111.
Oh.
See, 113 backwards is like my favorite band, 311. So
You'd love 311?
I do, man. It's a beautiful disaster every time I listen to them.
But
You gotta trust your instincts, man.
Yeah, man.
Just let go of regret.
Yeah, man.
if y'all can't tell, we are back again with our buddy Aaron Hansen.
Aaron Hamlin.
Thank you for joining us today
Thanks, man.
in this podcast.
Thanks for having me.
We'll get sweaty as the room gets hotter and hotter as time goes on.
Why don't you just have the air on?
Because on the podcast, see, here's the thing: when you're doing Let's Plays, you can't tell the AC's on. Well, you kind of can, but when it's a podcast, there's no other audio, so it's just like. And with the dynamics processing of the audio, it's like
It brings it up.
Yep.
You
A lot.
just
Well,
hear it.
granted, everyone says they don't mind, and we're like, oh, if everyone in the comments says they don't mind, then we'll put the air on, and everyone's like, we don't mind. I didn't even notice the air, and then we still cut the air off because we're like,
Because when I listen to it with headphones, it just like I'm like I don't like it. Makes
Yeah.
me so mad. I mean, we could turn it on.
No, man, forget it, dude.
I mean, if you're feeling comfortable, we could turn it on. Aaron.
I'm not
I
uncomfortable.
mean, as
I'm
long
with
as
you
we can
boys.
blame it on our guest, like we have to make our guest comfortable,
Yeah.
then I think that it can get a pass. So if you were to happen to be like, man, it's uncomfortably hot in this room,
Are you,
I mean,
we're uncomfortably hot.
we're all thinking
it's
it, right?
fucking comfortable and warm.
Okay.
sure?
Well,
Are you sure?
if you decide to change your mind, we would have no recourse, but
No qualms
to,
with.
Well, the only thing
turn
that
the
sucks
air
about
on.
it getting warm in a room like this is it's dark and it gets warm. It makes me sleepy.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
When I'm grinding out those Let's Plays, I just get sleepy and I just want to take a little nap.
I just
Yeah.
wish we had bright white lights in here, like a lab. Not really. No, that would
Like
kill
flickering fluorescent lights that just make your eyes exhausted.
Where you see,
mean-
where you look up and you can see all the dead flies in it.
I mean, these 4 lights were installed
I like that.
after the fact. Like it was actually dark,
Oh,
in
yeah.
this room, and it's still dark.
Many naps have been taken in here.
Oh yeah, I napped in here just last week.
Dude, I've taken a nap in here.
It's a nice nap room. It's so quiet and so like
You can turn the air on, get cold, get a heavy blanket on.
It's so nice. Get one of those weighted blankets. Really just takes me away.
I mean, for the rest of the podcast, we could just all take a nap together.
We could take a nap. It's gonna be the nap
It'd be
episode.
like nap ASMR.
I did wanted to do. We talked about. I think it was with Hannah. We talked about doing a full stream where I'm just sleeping.
That would be so good.
I just-
But you have to be legitimately sleepy.
Yeah, we'll like start out and just be like, "Hey guys, I'm just gonna take a nap for this stream. So thanks for joining me." And then just fall asleep. And then it's just an actual legitimate nap for like 2 hours.
Would that feel weird, like falling asleep and knowing that like 30,000 eyes are on you as you're falling asleep?
Not if it was a bit.
Okay. I woke myself up in the middle of the night talking to my sleep last night, which I don't do often, but I woke myself up because I like shouted out. And I don't remember what the context was, but I do remember what I said. I said, instead of comedians in cars getting coffee, it's strangers in the bathroom doing interviews. And I just woke myself up saying that phrase. And then
You were coming up with some gold.
I don't know what it was, man, but it was funny because
Don't tell Jerry. He might steal that shit.
that's a good one.
That's it's crazy that you remember that. I feel like talking in your sleep is like the one thing that'll always like freak out a person. Whenever it's like, oh, how long was I out? Like, oh, like 2 hours. But you were talking in your sleep. They're always like, what? What did I say?
It's like, I didn't say anything weird.
I don't do that. It's like, how do you know? You fucking.
I'm not a weirdo.
It's freaky because it's like you said things out loud into the public atmosphere that you have no recollection of. So you're like, what did I say?
Yeah.
You're like, did I say some like haunted shit? Did
Well,
I?
it's never like, I hate Stacy. Fuck her. It's always like, I'm hospital.
Yeah. or a clear, crisp sentence of instead of comedians in cars getting coffee.
Well, that's what baffles me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know why I was saying that, but
See, we always get down to like this, where it's like there was always this thing. It was like we're not sure if like to believe you 100%.
no, I have witnesses to this
Okay.
because I have my friend Harrison was asleep on the couch and he heard it as well. So, and I woke myself like wide awake from saying that. I woke up at like the tail end and I was like, why the fuck did I say that? It had to do with something in my dream, man.
I just want, because that's real life, man. Like if you put that in like a movie, like a scene of a person waking up, it's just like instead of comedians, and they just like get up like Dracula out of bed.
Didn't make any sense to me, man. I don't know what it meant.
Have either of you seen What We Do in the Shadows? Speaking of Dracula,
No.
I just saw it for the first time,
Really?
like a few days ago, and I
fucking
really enjoyed it.
Great movie.
Really, I thought it was really funny. It's I don't even know how to pronounce it. Is it Taika Waititi or something like that?
Taika Waititi.
Taika
yeah.
Waititi.
Yeah.
It's a really, really funny film. I liked it.
Yeah.
It's been one of those where it's like been sitting on my watch list for ages, and it's like I'll watch it eventually.
Yeah.
Finally did it.
It's like when it gets to be that long that it's been out and people still are like, oh dude, that movie rules. It's like, okay, that's evergreen. Like,
Yeah.
I can't even be weird about it. Like when Dexter was coming out and people are like, you should watch Dexter. It's like, fuck you, man. I don't want a dumb show that everyone else is watching. And it's like nobody's talking about Dexter anymore. But like people still talk about What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I
you
mean, it's
should.
October. It's you gotta watch spooky movies. I watched Scream 4 last night, so
I didn't even know there were 4 screams.
it's not
Yeah,
bad.
Scream
I
4
enjoyed
was
it.
when they were like bringing it back. Like I would think was I in high school? When
Yeah, you were. It's very
Scream 4?
self-aware.
Is it called?
Well, that's the whole like Scream series in general.
Yeah.
because the first one had the dude that played Shaggy in it.
Shaggy
Shaggy
like
in the
rapper?
live action Scooby Doo movie.
Oh,
Stewie Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
Hey, what's up? It's Scooby Doo.
That's what I was allowed to watch. I wasn't allowed to watch Scooby Doo.
You know, watch Scooby Doo.
The Russian
knockoff.
Scooby Doo.
Hey, it's Scooby Doo.
Scooby snakes.
Where is picnic basket?
I eat
Solve mystery of picnic.
solve babushka mystery.
Oh, it was Vlad the whole time.
It always Vlad.
It's Stubby and Vlad.
He only criminal.
Vladdy.
Who is monster now?
Y'all, okay, yesterday Ryan and I
The
walked
Inquisitive
over.
Bunch.
Ryan and I were taking a little stroll, okay?
Yeah.
And we walked
was
into
this?
yesterday.
Why are you being so defensive about it?
Dude, we were taking a stroll. Ease off. And we go into a gas station.
Oh yeah.
And we never had never even talked about this after it happened. That woman in the gas station.
She's a regular there.
her facial. There was a large woman there with
Tribal facial tattoos.
her whole face, tribal facial tattoos.
That's dope.
And then she was like,
It
I
wasn't.
forgot my glasses.
Yeah,
Could
she
you
was trying to get,
press-
like, ice
Could you
or
press
something?
3 minutes? No, she was like, could you press 3 minutes on this microwave so I could heat up my breakfast?
She was
She
like, I
brought
don't
her-
have my glasses, please. Someone help me. She was covered in tribal tattoos, but not like the cool kind. It did not look good.
Oh.
Last time I saw her, she blew a snot rocket out of her nose.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems to fit like what you look at her once and you're like, oh, okay. So that fits with like what I saw.
Whenever that happens, I'm like, oh man, because like it's like you'd think it's like, oh, this is the type of person to blow a snot rocket out. But I wanted to like be surprised.
Give
And
the
she
benefit of the
walks
doubt.
out and like fucking plays cello like a champ or something. But no, she's got those snot rockets and
She went to,
heating up her
like-
breakfast.
That's so true. If you see somebody doing something like competent that's like above like an average level of competence, you're like, oh, okay, I trust this person.
But when she walks out with her like tribal tattoos and then just blows like a massive snot rocket out
Well,
of
the
her
thing was, it
nose.
didn't come out the first time. It was one of those where it was like,
Why would you do that when there's people
like
around?
it took that one final one. Then
I've
right
never. I don't think I've ever even blown one. I don't,
feels good.
I don't
when
have
you-
the,
I've
like,
only
strength.
ever done it in the shower.
I don't have the strength. Like my I don't have the nasal strength to like
I
projectile
think you
something.
could. I think you're just nervous.
No, I've never been able to do it. It
ever
just kind of
blown your
sprays
nose?
out. I blow my nose.
That's what happens when you blow your nose.
It's a snot rocket.
But if I try to do a snot rocket, it's just gonna kind of like, go down my face. It's
Because
not
you don't
gonna-
have a
It's
booger.
because you're nervous.
You need a dry,
You
good
get
old
full
spherical
power.
booger in there.
I have stage fright with blowing snot rockets. You know, at the next Drunk Drawing Live, I'll go on stage and I'm blowing into the audience. Aaron gave me the strength to do this. Right out to some lucky guest in the audience.
Just sticks onto one of their teeth and they don't notice for the rest of the show and no one tells
That's
them.
disgusting.
That was fun, man. I'm glad I got to be a part of that.
Yeah, I'm really
Thank
excited for the next one. Thank you to everybody again who came out. Can't wait to do more. Really, really fun show.
It was a
Really
hit.
great crowd.
So
People
how
liked it.
was being drunk on stage, Aaron? was that
Well,
experience?
it was the most drunk I'd ever been.
Okay.
Honestly, because I've been on stage so many times, it was like, I was just like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, you're like, this will be fine.
I'm glad I remember all of it. So I guess I wasn't that drunk. But yeah, it was fun.
What
And
stage of drunk would you say you're at, like mentally? and,
Well,
like,
I've
physically?
You were wobbling.
I haven't experienced the full spectrum,
Mhm.
but it's the most that I've ever been. So
You've never been like,
I've never been
fuck,
like
I just need to
blackout
fall
drunk or-
asleep, and then
yeah.
hopefully I'll wake up and I won't be drunk.
You've never been like,
that
no.
far.
I need to throw up drunk.
No.
That's not fun.
Well, I was, but it wasn't solely because I was on an airplane,
Oh.
and I was like, can I just get like a Sprite and a vodka? And they were like, sure. And she gave me like 2 little bottles of vodka, and I was like, well, I want to get fucked up on this plane anyway, so fuck it. And so I had both at once and immediately fell asleep. And then when I woke up, I was just like in a panic. I was in the middle seat, and I was like, I have to throw up right now. And I was just like, move. And I ran to the bathroom, and there was a huge line, and I was like, oh, this fucking sucks. So I ran back to the dude that was sitting next to me, and I just like stumbled over him and then just grabbed the barf bag and like walked away, hoping that would be enough explanation for like why I was so rude about like stumbling on him. And then I went back to the bathroom. I cut a bunch of people, and I was just like, fuck it. And then I just took like the most like aggressive dump I'd ever taken in the shower.
That's a plot twist right
Into
there.
the barf bag?
I gotta remember this one.
And then I was fine after that. There was
Ryan,
no.
I'm glad.
Next time we're on a plane, I challenge you just to frantically grab the barf bag and just without leaving your seat, like shit into the barf bag and then like fold it over and stick it in the backpack. But never like mention it. Just see how people
Should I
react.
put my name on it in Sharpie too?
Ryan and the date. Gotta put the date on it. Some thoughts. I remember we were in Japan and I threw up from drinking, but I was doing Forrest Gump impressions while I was throwing up. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan, that was nasty.
Yeah, that was pretty good shit.
God, you've
Thanks,
thrown
man.
up a lot in my presence. You've been the one that's like fearful of throwing up,
Yeah,
but
you're
you've
the-
thrown up more than any of my friends ever.
Well, here's the deal. Is my whole life I've had emetophobia, and I still do, and I'm terrified of vomiting. But I want to get over that, and I know that like the only way to get over a fear is immersion therapy. So I need to be immersed in
So
vomit.
you intentionally get drunk and
No.
make yourself throw up,
No, but when
so
I'm
that you will.
but when I'm drunk,
get
it's
over
like-
your fear of throwing up.
you have more courage, and I'm like, oh, it's vomit. Like I don't need to be scared of that. And then if I drink enough, I'm like, oh, I feel sick. Maybe I could use this as I feel sick anyway. Maybe I could use this as a point of immersion therapy. And then I'm like, sure. And then I do it, and I'm like, that wasn't bad at all. And then when I come back to sobriety, I'm like, you know what? I'm a little less scared of throw up now because I've done it again, and it wasn't scary, and I survived.
I feel like you have a weird relationship with vomit because like nobody wants to throw. Like it sucks.
When you've had a lot to drink, like when you've had too much, you want to, and it's nice. It's
and
a
then
good
when you
feeling.
throw up and then it's all out there, you're just like, and
It's a
then you
great
get sleepy
feeling.
and then you pass out. Or you can be like me, eat a half a block of cheddar cheese and half a bottle of liquor. Well, drink the bottle of liquor. Eating it would be very bad for my
To eat the
digestive
glass.
system.
Well, it always
Um,
feels better after you throw up. That's the point of throwing up.
Yeah, but I mean
like-
it's a nice release.
But like the feeling of like getting like shaky and sweaty.
Oh, the lead up to vomiting is the worst part of vomiting.
Yeah,
Like
it
vomiting
sucks.
itself is not bad, but the lead up, like the minute up until that is hell. I wish upon nobody.
No, violent vomiting is pretty bad.
Oh, I did that.
Like norovirus vomiting or like food poisoning vomiting, where you're just like there's nothing left. There's nothing left. There's like nothing coming out, but your body's still spasming.
Where it's just like the clear slime
Yeah.
coming out.
I
and
did
shit.
about 2 months ago. I did the type that's just so violent that I'm like scream vomiting, and it's like it's just like. "Ah! Ah!"
So
It
you,
was
had you had a
intense.
Family Guy moment.
I did. It was like when Peter Griffin.
It was like a
vomits.
live action Family Guy episode.
You know the Family Guy episode where they drink the Ipecac and then they're all throwing up on everybody? I'm on
Mm-hmm.
season 6, by the way.
You don't like that joke though.
I don't. I just think it's you know, they're just trying to be like graphic to be graphic, and they always carry it on too long. And I'm like, all right, I get the joke. They're throwing up. It's you know, it's Family Guy. It's top notch humor. But Ryan, can you?
You're on season 6.
I am on season 6.
So I mean,
I'm in the prime of it right now. Actually, season 5 was fantastic, and apparently 6 through 9 are like the best seasons. So very excited. But can you tell? I don't know if Aaron knows the story. Can you tell him the story of the Jack Daniels and the cheddar cheese? Because it's a great story.
oh,
I love.
have
this
I
story.
told you? It's not even there's that big of a payoff. It's
No,
just
it's just
disgusting
funny.
and sad. That's all it is. It's like people in the podcast, whenever like if it's their first time hearing the story, it's always like, oh, this is gonna be good. Cheese and Jack Daniels. But then like I tell it and it's like, oh, Jesus
It's
Christ.
like, that's disgusting.
Fuck. Like, okay, we'll gauge it by your reaction,
Okay.
Aaron. Okay. So one night I was just not in the mood, and I was in my feelings, as Drake would say.
Were you doing the dance?
Yeah, I was crying and doing the Drake dance. So I chugged like half a bottle of Jack Daniels.
And that's a lot of liquor.
That is a lot
That
of
is
liquor.
that is an
That's
intense
like
amount of liquor.
40%, right?
Yeah, and then I cut a block of cheese that my family had downstairs because I
Classic
wanted them
Ryan
to have
McGee
some cheese.
fashion.
I didn't want to eat the whole cheese. I'm a big cheese fan, by the way. Like
Uh-huh.
I always have my fridge stocked with
Oh,
cheese.
when
not a
I
cheese
lived with
fan.
him, it was just he was just eating cheese nonstop. We go to the, like every time we go to the store,
It
I
was
open
a
the fridge,
problem.
it would be like stocked with cheese.
with the
Like,
Cracker Barrel cheese.
he had his
sticks.
own drawer that like no one I wouldn't put anything in. It was just a drawer just for Ryan's cheese. I'm not kidding. Like he had his own cheese drawer in the fridge. He ate that much cheese.
Come around the corner.
Every time I opened up the trash
Ryan,
can,
I'm not.
no, you would open up our trash can. It would just be like filled with cheese wrappers. Like so much cheese.
It was good. I like cheese. I can't. I don't
No,
know.
you can't, no one can
So-
fault you for that.
So I cut this block of cheese in half.
Yeah.
And I'm drunk, and I'm like, I don't feel. I'm afraid I'm gonna cut myself with a knife. So I just start like eating it.
Like
Just
a candy bar.
Like a candy
but
bar.
it's cheddar cheese.
This is back when I was in college.
Yeah.
Probably first year of college or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
And then
And-
everything
but I
was
w- I-
okay, right?
I was not. Well, this wasn't even a part of the college experience. I was just home upstairs by myself.
You weren't at some like kick-ass rager.
No,
You were just by
well,
yourself.
I mean, if I was at a party eating a block of cheese like a candy bar, I don't think that would be a good image.
just
as well.
standing in the corner with a bottle of Jack Daniels and a block of cheddar cheese, eating it like a chocolate bar.
Just like,
Hey, look at that guy.
Hey, oh my God, is that Ryan? Yeah.
Dude, you look so cool right now.
I'm like, yep. I probably poke a hole in the cheese, put a cigarette in there so I can like, double task. But so I'm eating this block of cheese and everything's going fine. I'm like, I'm gonna fall asleep now. And so I fall asleep, and the next thing I know, I'm opening my eyes. And you know what the shape a fountain makes? It goes straight up and then it kind of mushrooms.
Yeah.
I wake up to that image of throw up and then it falling down onto my face. And then I lean over the couch and I throw up more and I'm like, like that, like violent throw up. And so like I throw up like on the floor and like there's throw up on me and like on my pillow, but I'm so drunk and exhausted from this experience that I just fall back asleep in my own filth. So I wake up with like it's in like my hair, a
That's
little
how it
bit of beard,
happens.
with like just dried cheddar cheese vomit with like the Jack Daniels kind of scent a little bit. It
See,
was-
you're
it was-
lucky though, because that's a lot of people die. Like you're lucky you woke up.
No,
Yeah, they
so that's
choke
the
on their own
thing.
vomit,
Like,
yeah.
it's a funny story, but that's legitimately like
That could have
flip
been
a
your
coin.
death.
I'm dead or I'm alive. Flip a coin. It's a funny. Haha! I threw up all over myself. Or, oh God.
Like
Well,
Ryan.
depending on the person.
Yeah, true.
Imagine
It's
if you
all-
told some middle-aged woman from the South, she'd be like, "Oh my lord,
Yeah, you almost killed yourself.
oh my lord, that's disgusting. Get out of my house."
I just like I
hope
love
you're
that
okay.
story
Do you want
because
some cornbread.
Use a doily.
here's a doily. Take a free doily on the way out.
I love that story because, well, it's funny. I wish I could have seen it. Like if I had the ghost of like Christmas past come to me, I'd be like, "Don't take me to Christmas. Take me to this moment where I can watch Ryan throw up on himself."
I have a
and
picture.
that would have been it.
I have a picture from that night.
Wait, really?
Because I sent a Snapchat to Daniel, but I screenshotted that Snapchat because I'm like, I look so wasted.
And this is
I-
before the
I
vomit.
posted something to Instagram, and I don't know why I think I was just trying to be like, bitch, but this is that image of that night.
Let me see. Birch.
Oh
Oh my God, you're so gone in that picture. When was this? Did I didn't know you yet.
That's on my Instagram.
How'd you find that so fast?
Because I just scroll down through all. I mean, I don't have too many photos on my Instagram, I don't think.
I can't think of like a grosser.
Yeah, this is
vomit.
2014, baby. No, this
2014.
was 2014.
It's 4 years
That was
ago.
that was about
You're
2 years
20.
after high school.
When we're done with this podcast, we're gonna have a serious talk.
About lying to you?
No,
Oh.
that's underage drinking. And I will be calling the police and filing a report.
No.
Fucked up. You know how many
No.
underage kids watch this show?
You can't.
100% of them.
Don't
100% of all underage children
Don't-
watch Superman.
don't drink underage.
Because
Don't do
you'll
it.
throw up all over yourself.
And
And don't
probably
eat a
die.
block of
I
I
cheddar.
was
maybe
young and
die.
irresponsible with alcohol, and now I'm older and I barely drink. So
Yeah,
you can attest to that.
Yeah,
I
Ryan.
probably only drink for what, like drunk drawing, probably.
yeah, pretty much. Ryan barely drinks.
Drinking gives me heartburn, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it
had
does.
that chest pain. Remember, like right before drunk drawing, it sucks because
'Cause you're shot.
basically it feels a lot of. It feels. I don't. It's hard to explain, but I have to burp to feel better. But I have to like. But the more I burp, the more lightheaded I get, and after I'm done with it, I'm just like,
Ryan just passes out from burping. All of his oxygen in his body comes out, and then he dies from asphyxiation.
Oh, wow.
I saw something on Twitter.
a picture of me.
Well, I do see that regularly on Twitter, but I saw like a story and a tweet, and I just want to get your take on it. This kid was being bullied, so his dad took the bully out of school for a day and took him like he wanted to like see why he was bullying his son, so he just took him out and like spent the day with him, like bought him a bunch of like clothes and like cool shit, and then like just imagine like coming home and then like your bully's just sitting on your couch wearing like all this cool shit your dad bought him,
Why'd the dad do that?
just to get an understanding for the bully.
Well, what was the conclusion? Did he?
I don't know. But just imagine like coming home and your bully's just sitting on the couch wearing like cool new shoes,
know,
like
he's
your
just
dad bought him. He's like, "Sup, dude?"
Guess what I got your dad to do? And then then the dad comes in doing the beta male smile.
Let's see it, dude.
I don't know if I can.
Come on,
dude.
do this.
You can
Just
do it, Aaron.
act like you're taking a picture of someone and go,
You got a hover hand though.
there it is.
There it is, bro.
We've been really on this beta male smile thing.
It's so good. There's science to it. There's absolutely science to it.
Wow.
Showing your teeth to submit to the alpha.
See, because okay, so like the guys that believe in the beta male shit, their logic is that like in chimpanzee like clans, I don't know what a group of chimps is called, a pack of chimps,
A gaggle.
a gaggle of chimps. The
not,
the beta males smile. They don't smile, but they do this to like show submission. So they believe that men who smile with their mouths open, showing their teeth, it means that they're beta males. And I don't want to give any credence to it, but there are a lot of photos of men smiling with that smile, and you're like, I see it, yeah.
Well, the idea of a beta and an alpha is like pretty outdated at this point, right? Like, I think they did some studies into like wolves specifically, where it was like, no, we were wrong.
Well,
That's not how it works.
that's something a beta would say, Aaron.
I guess you're right.
You have to come up with all these tests.
Yeah, I'd like to see the science behind that, Aaron, because it doesn't sound like you have a lot to back that up.
I don't. It's just something I read once on Twitter or something.
Oh yeah, that's very scientific.
And it's like
Aaron.
everything in everyone's life at
everything
this point
nowadays.
is-
Like I read this on Twitter.
yeah, or something.
I'm not an expert on everything, so like, please be very mean to me. When you have a computer to go to Wikipedia and look up the specific definition while I'm just rambling with friends on a podcast, feel free to.
Well, it's like if I was hanging out with friends and that conversation would come up, I would just Google it, and then I would like stand in the corner for a second and be like, "Oh, hold on, okay, I found it. I did the thing, and then there it is."
Yeah.
But I'm on a podcast, and I can't fucking do that right
Well, that's the
now.
thing is like you're on a podcast and like you don't have references.
We
You
have
just
our
kinda, like,
phones. I mean, we could, but like, who wants to interrupt a story? It was like, hold on, let's get the facts straight.
Yeah,
and you gotta wait like a couple seconds of silence to look it up,
It
and it
sounds
kills
so
the
bad,
conversation.
though.
yeah.
But it's like you actually say something like inaccurate on a podcast, and then anyone
It's out
listening
there
can just
forever, yeah.
go. Yeah, but anyone listening can just immediately go on Wikipedia and then be like, actually, it's like, well, you know
Yeah,
what?
idiot? Like, well, you
I'm
didn't know
sorry.
either.
Well, I mean, granted, a lot of the stuff, like, I mean, I'm not gonna say it for you because that would be mean, but I know a lot of stuff I say is stupid and not researched that well. But
I think that goes